has $120 more than Jacob. After Eden goes to the grocery store and spends $55, she has twice as much money as Jacob. How much money does Jacob have? So again, this is an algebra word problem. We're going to set up some equations. The first equation is based on this. Eden has
120 plus J.
exactly. Now it says after Eden goes to the grocery store and spends $55. So we're going to have to subtract 55 from Eden because she spent $55. And now that equals to twice as much as Jacob. So she just has 2 times the amount Jacob has. All good.
Yes, yes.
So, oh, sorry. So in this one, it would actually be a lot faster to use substitution because we already have one equation with a variable alone. So it's going to be really easy for us to just take all of this and replace it in here. So what is our equation going to look like? We're going to have 120 plus J, that's the E, minus 55 is equal to 2J. I only put it in a parenthesis so you guys see that like where it's coming from, but the parentheses isn't actually going to do anything here. So now we need to solve for J. So I can combine 120 and 55. That's going to give me, let's see, 65. So that's going to be 65 plus J is equal to 2J. Now we have a problem here. We have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. It's never a good thing. You only want to have it on one side. So it does not matter if you move it to the left or to the right. You just want it to be somewhere that it looks kind of lonely because the goal is to get it alone. So in this case, it's going to be a lot easier to just move that J over to the right-hand side. Since that J is currently positive, to move it to the right-hand side, we'll do the opposite, which is subtracting. So that means that Jacob, so 2 minus 1 is just going to be 1. So Jacob has a total of $65. Any questions?
It's good.
Good?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I feel like I'm going a little fast, so if I'm going too fast, please tell me, because sometimes I don't catch myself and I go a little fast. So,
Okay.
all right. Ugh, you guys love these age ones. I hate them because they always mess me up. All right. Pam is 6 years older than Sue. 6 years ago, Pam was twice as old as Sue. What is the sum of their ages now? Okay, so we're going to have to, again, set up 2 equations. Pam is 6 years older than Sue, so Pam is equal to 6 more than Sue. 6 years ago, so we're going to go 6 years in the past. We're going to have to subtract 6 from both Pam and Sue, because that's the part that I always mess up. So 6 years ago, 6 minus Pam, and okay, sorry, email. And it says that 6 years ago, Pam was twice as old as Sue. So we're going 6 years in the past, which means it's going to be 2 times Sue minus 6 because this was Sue back then. Is that okay with everyone? This is like honestly the most confusing part.
It's okay.
Okay. So now we want to figure out what is the sum of their ages. So we have to figure out how old is Sue and how old is Pam. In this problem, which method do you guys think would be best? Substitution or elimination?
Elimination.
Substitution, because you already got P equal to 6 plus.
Very good. So substitution is going to be the better route because of exactly what he just said, because P is already alone. So it's going to be really easy to just plug that in. So we're going to use substitution. We're going to take this and plug it in here. So what are we going to end up with? Excuse me. So we're going to end up with 6 plus s minus 6 is equal to 2 times s minus 12. I went ahead and distributed. Excuse me. I went ahead
Bless
and
you.
Thank you. I went ahead and distributed that too. Okay. So what do we have here? Oh,
Bless
sorry.
you. Pollen.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. All right, so what's gonna happen here? So
You can take out the
6
both
and
6 on the
6
left
goes
side.
away. Exactly. So s is gonna equal to 2s.
Bless you. Bless
I'm
you.
sorry, guys. Give me 1 sec.
All right.
Ew. 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 Ah.
You good?
Yeah. It's just I just finished cleaning right before I was teaching, and there was this whole like hairball from my cats, and I was cleaning it, and I think there's like a little hair that went up my nose, and it's like annoying me. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm good. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move the 2s over to the other side. So I'm gonna have minus 2s minus 2s. So this is gonna be negative 3s is equal to negative 12. I divide both sides by negative 3. And s should equal to positive 4, right?
I got negative 3s.
How did I get negative 3? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not negative 3s. Ha ha ha. It's not negative 3s. That's why it looks weird because it's not. It's negative 1s because 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Yeah. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. Thank you for that. All the sneezing has my brain rattled. So this is going to equal to just positive 12. So Sue is currently 12 years old, if I did the math correctly. I'm not going to lie to you. This problem gets me every single time, and it's very annoying. But I think I got it. Okay, so Sue is currently 12 years old. Now let's figure out how old Pam is. So Pam is supposed to be 6 years older. So Pam is supposed to be 6 plus 12 is 18. Yes. Yes. And now we're going to add 12 because, again, the answer is asking us for the sum of their ages. So the final answer would be to add these two together, which would be what, 30? So they're going to be, the sum of their ages now is 30 years old. Does that make sense? Is there any part of this that doesn't make sense? Any step in the process that confuses you?
No.
Good. All right, so a painter needs 5 gallons of paint to finish a house. He has 3 quarts and 1 pint. How much more paint does he need? So this is a problem that involves a lot of unit conversions. And unit conversions is something that we've talked about, that there are some unit conversions you just have to know at the top of your head. And if you don't know which ones, I will proudly say that I made a cute little TikTok on our TikTok account that has like all the ones you need to know. So it looks like we're going from gallons and we're going to have to go down to quarts and pints. So let's first just write down the conversions. So we have that 2 pints is 1 quart. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. That one is kind of easy to remember because quart sounds like quarters. And there's 4 quarters in a dollar, 4 quarts in a gallon. Pretty self-explanatory. So in this problem, the easiest thing to do is to bring everybody to the smallest unit. Why is that the better thing? It's better to go to your smallest unit because that way you avoid having to deal with decimals. It doesn't mean that if you go to a bigger unit, it's going to be, impossible to do. It's not. It's just a lot easier to deal with, especially because you guys won't have a calculator. So it's just easier to deal with not decimals. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take these 5 gallons and I'm going to convert them to just pints, which is the smallest unit here. So I want to know how many pints that's going to be. Now remember, we're going from a big unit to a small unit. So are we going to multiply or divide?
Multiply.
Yes.
Multiply.
Yes, we are going to multiply. Now the question is multiply by what? So here's what we're going to have to multiply by. We're going to go from gallons to quarts. So we would have to multiply by 4. But then from quarts to pints, we would have to multiply by 2. So in reality, we're going to have to multiply by 8 because 4 times 2 is 8. So if I multiply this by 8, that's going to give me a total of 40 pints. That is how much paint he needs, right? The second part is to figure out how much paint does he already have. Well, he already has 3 quarts and 1 pint. So let's figure out again how many pints in total he has. Well, he has 1 pint. And we want to figure out what is 3 quarters or 3 quarts turned into pints. So from quart to pint, you just have to multiply that by 2. So we multiply this by 2. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 equals 7 pints. That is how many he currently has. To find out how much he's missing, we just subtract. So he's missing 33 pints. Is that clear with everyone?